We just wrapped up day 3 of the Diddy trial, and with it, we had the conclusion of the direct testimony of Cassie Ventura, the ex-girlfriend of Diddy. Now, Cassie is one of the 2 persons that the state is claiming was sexually trafficked by Diddy, and that's why we anticipated that her testimony would be exceedingly long. 4 days is what they're anticipating. So we're set to begin cross-examination on that tomorrow morning. Let me break down with you some of the highlights from the state's perspective to her testimony, in particular that was elicited this afternoon. In certain ways, some of the most damning evidence of the trial so far came out this afternoon. We had heard from Cassie about the freak-offs that she was forced to endure, and she claims that she never wanted to engage in and only did for the benefit of Diddy. And that the only person she ever wanted to engage in a sexual way was Sean Combs, her boyfriend Diddy, and not any of these strangers who she claimed he was compelling her to spend all that time with. Well, there's all sorts of conflicting evidence about this that the defense wants to raise to the jury. The defense wants to show that she participated in setting up these freak-offs. And at certain times she would express that she was enjoying the freak-offs, and that would lead someone to believe that she may not have been trafficked. Well, today we actually got a new form of evidence that we had not yet seen in this trial to corroborate her claims that she was being compelled to do this. She said during the course of her testimony over the last 2 days that she was afraid of that Diddy was blackmailing her, and that Diddy was going to release those videos to embarrass her in front of her mother, in front of the entire world, and destroy her career, destroy her life. And those are her claims, that was her motivation. But we don't even know that he ever did blackmail her until today. We had no evidence of that. We've seen evidence of the violence. Everyone saw the video in Intercontinental, so we know there was at least one occasion of violence, which she said happened all the time, that she was continually acting under this threat of being physically assaulted. And that may be true, it may not be true. It sort of comes down to a he said, she said, unless you have corroborating evidence from the form of other witnesses. Well, this morning we got a picture of a black eye that she alleges she received when Diddy threw her down onto a bed frame, and that there were 2 witnesses to that. In addition, we have this afternoon the really new bombshell relates to an incident that happened late in 2011. Now, late in 2011, she says that she got a burner phone and when she got a new boyfriend named Scott that she was keeping hidden from Diddy. One day she was performing a freak out for Diddy, and he went through her phone, found an email wherein Scott was telling her to bring toiletries to his house, and he recognized that she was dating someone new. This caused him, according to Cassie, to freak out and start chasing her around the room with a wine bottle opener clenched between his fingers. She fled the scene and ran away and didn't want to come back. She was coaxed to come back and meet with Diddy by one of his managers that worked for him. And when she had that meeting, she alleges that she was threatened that he was going to release sexually explicit videos from those freak-offs to the world. They do one on Christmas and one shortly before or after. And she said that on the way out, he kicked her really hard in the back, and she left and went to Connecticut to spend Christmas with her mother. She sent an email to her mother on December 23rd, 2011, wherein she said that she talked about how she was being threatened that Diddy is going to be releasing sexually explicit videos. This is the first time that her mother learned anything about the activities she was engaged in, and she had no idea, according to Cassie, that Diddy was abusing her physically and laying hands on her. She kept that hidden from her mother, because she was afraid and embarrassed about that. But when she got back to Connecticut, her mother documented the bruises that she had on her lower back and another one on her leg, and Now we have corroborating evidence going back to 2011 that she was feeling threatened, that she was feeling blackmailed, that she was feeling, if I disobey this guy, he's going to harm me. And if you step into the mindset of a juror, when I'm watching this, I think to myself, how likely is it that he might carry this out? And when you see that he has no hesitation about harming her physically, it leads you to conclude that why would he have any hesitation about harming her psychologically and emotionally by actually carrying out those blackmail threats? So even if one didn't think that the violence was enough to keep her in check and to strip her of her freedom of choice, that hanging over her head, that blackmail hanging over her head, certainly you would think from the state's perspective is compelling evidence that she was acting without free will. And that's what this trial ultimately is all about. Did she have freedom of choice? Was she choosing to degrade herself and humiliate herself of her own volition because of a feeling of duty or obligation or love or seeking attention from Diddy, in which case he's committed no crime? Or was he coercing and compelling her to make these decisions against her will? That's a critical element to sex trafficking that the state may struggle with. And I think that that email, at the very least, helps corroborate that this was certainly a significant part of the equation of what life was like for Cassandra Ventura going all the way back to 2011. She stayed in this relationship till 2018 and engaged in countless freak-offs after 2011. So certainly with respect to those activities that she engaged in during that time, you would think that the state feels pretty good that they made out a compelling case. I'm not weighing in with my perspective on this, and she certainly hasn't faced any cross-examination now, but giving the jury tangible evidence in the form of an email that at least corroborates that she was feeling threatened and blackmailed going back to 2011 is certainly a significant step in the right direction for the state to land themselves a conviction on that particular sex trafficking charge. So that's what we had this afternoon. I'm going to break this down in far greater detail this evening. I'm going to talk to you much more about her relationship with Scott. I'm going to talk to you about the physical assault that happened, a sexual assault, which I'm not sure if I can use that word on YouTube, that happened the last time that they were supposed to be meeting to have closure. And that he went back to her house, and the next thing she knew, she was being attacked while saying no, no, no. And then he left. And the most bizarre thing about that scenario is she says she later met up with him again and had consensual sex with Sean Combs. This is a very perplexing story. It's a very confusing case. But I hope you'll stick it out with me, and I'm going to give you the best breakdowns as far as what the vibe in the room is, the effectiveness of the attorneys, and I give you short recaps every day. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the bell so you get all notifications, because otherwise you're probably never going to hear from me. And at night, I do a lengthy breakdown. I'm going to be here every day. I am your lawyer in the courtroom giving you that best coverage. I will see you next time. Godspeed.